We're getting rid of the headset. This thing is causing you problems too. There you go. Now you can hear me. What are we doing here, man? Like, what are we doing here? Yep. There we go. Good news is I don't have to open YouTube on my phone to look at the comments. I can see them right on the side, so that's going to make things a lot easier. All right. Lord, let the stream run smoothly. In your name we pray, amen. That's not a joke prayer. I'm actually serious. I really hope this works. What is this? Okay, that's not an item. Okay, that's odd. Anyway, so as always, link to join in the description. We're gonna try this again. We're gonna attempt this again. So I'm gonna try to do a study here. We're gonna start from Romans chapter 3 to the end of the chapter, and then we're gonna try to Romans 4. I don't think we're gonna get through all of it. I just thought like this is a good section of scripture. No one really suggested anything on the community post, so I just I thought, well, like we're gonna go with this. We're gonna go with this. Very, very deep stuff indeed. I'm gonna open up the Psalms that I had opened before. Well, let me open up Romans first of all over here. Psalm 14, 1 through 3. Psalm 3, 1 through 3. Enter. All right. If you didn't get that intro, by the way, because my mic was not working, unfortunately, for that first portion of this stream, we're testing this again. I was running OBS Studio before. You could hear me, but I couldn't hear through it, first of all. And it was a whole mess. It was a mess. So I don't think I'm ever using that site again. I don't like StreamYard as much, but it runs. Like it works. It works. The watermark is literally like the only thing that I have to deal with. I can bear with that. If I can, so like I can't. What am I gonna do, right? What am I gonna do about it? Nothing you can do, right? If I try to click this, I have to upgrade, and I don't think I'm gonna be paying for that. So, yep. It is what it is. It is what it is. So, we're gonna power through this. I'm gonna share the screen. We're gonna start. So, Romans chapter 3, starting from verse 9. And the word of God says, "What then? Are we better than they? Not at all. For we have previously charged both Jews and Greeks that they are all under sin." Right? Notice the questioning. So to give you, let's get a little context. We're not gonna read this whole portion, or we're not gonna like go into in depth to this whole portion, but we're gonna read just a little bit of it, kind of look at it. So Paul starts off the chapter by saying, "What advantage has the Jew?" The previous chapter, or what is the profit of circumcision? Much in every way, right? Because under the old covenant, the Jews have the oracles of God. What's known as the oracles of God, his scriptures, his sayings, right? They have God's word with them. And their unfaithfulness will not make God unfaithful. He will remain faithful. Excuse me. Right? Let God be true, justified in his words. And then he speaks of God's judgment. He's answering kind of the opponents that would say, well, then, why would God judge then, right? Why would God judge then if he's using these people that are unfaithful and evil? How come he judges them? He's using them, right? And Paul's making the polemic here, right? Then how does God judge the world, etc., etc.? Anyways, so sort of a brief background, not the best intro, but you know what? at this point. Anyways, so are we better than they? Right? When Paul says at the beginning of the chapter, there's an advantage to the Jew, and yet we are not better than they. Why? Because although the Jew has the scriptures with them, the oracles of God, right, God's law, that doesn't make them better because they themselves break it. They themselves break that law all the time throughout the Old Testament and even today. Throughout the Old Testament, right? No one is good. Not one. Which we're going to see in a second here. Right? We have previously charged both Jews and Greeks that they are all under sin. This is the summary of the first 3 chapters, the major portion of them, starting from verse 18 in chapter 1, and then going to verse 20 in chapter 3 here. So up to this point, Paul summarizes this point like this. We have previously charged both Jews and Greeks that they are all under sin. Every single one of us, whether Jew or Gentile, whether Hebrew or Greek, whoever, are under sin. None of us are exempt. So, going down, and Paul, in case you still disagree, Paul lays it down here with these quotations from the Old Testament. As it is written, right? When you see that phrase, it's going to be a quotation from Scripture. As it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one. There is none who understands. There is none who seeks after God. They have all turned aside. They have together become unprofitable. There is none who does good, no, not one. Let's look at that here this is one of the quotations Paul's alluding to, Psalm 14. The fool said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none who does good. The Lord looks down from the heaven above upon the children of men to see if there are any who understand, who seek God. They have all turned aside. They have together become corrupt. There is none who does good, no, not one. Right? No one does good. This is where Paul's quoting from. And there's a similar passage also in Psalm 53, which he's also alluding to. Essentially the same thing, right? The fool said in his heart, there's no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable iniquity. There's none who does good. God looks down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there's any who understand, who seek God. Every one of them has turned aside. They have together become corrupt. There's none who does good. No, not one. Right? Same thing. So going back, Paul is quoting this to illustrate first the character of the unrighteous. Notice, there's none righteous, no, not one. Right? What is righteousness? Right? We're back. Yes, we are back. Just to double check, please hit the link just to make sure it works. You don't have to stay in the panel. Just join to see if it works, and if I see you down there, then I'll let you know that it's working. All right. Anyway, so righteousness, right? From the Greek word. Actually, I don't know if I remember the Greek word. Oh shoot! Wow. Yeah, look at me. Look at me trying to flex my Greek knowledge. I don't even remember. This is horrible. All right. Dikaios, right? Dikaios. I should have known. Anyway, so right, righteousness or just, right? Being without blame. Right? You are righteous. You're holy. You are good. You do good. But there is none like that on the earth. None of us are like that. There's none who understands. Right? Let's open up. Let's actually, let me get rid of this first. Oh, yep, it's doing it again. Okay, thank you. Thank you for working with me, Bible Gateway. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 14 to 15. Is this it? Okay, yep. So look at this. Look at what Paul says about the natural man, which is the man without the spirit, without the spirit of God. Right? The man's still dead in his sin, unregenerate. Right? But the natural man does not receive the things of the Spirit of God. Right? Notice he says they cannot understand. Why? Because these things are foolishness to him. Right? From the Greek word moranos. Right? Only a fool would believe these things. Only an idiot would believe these things. So he does not receive them. But he doesn't understand. Look, it says, nor can he know them because they are spiritually discerned. Right? Without the Spirit of God, no one understands. That's why you see a lot of silly objections sometimes to the Christian faith. Right? A lot of, think of, objections, because this is the context of First Corinthians, the cross, right? Well, if Jesus was without sin, then how come he died? Come on, man. It is written, right, that he knew no sin, but became sin for us in 2 Corinthians 2:17. Right? This is revealed in the scripture. This is why you see these kinds of objections to Christianity that are weak, that are horrible, that are foolish, because they themselves are not spiritually discerned. And so this is the response you tend to get. But he who is spiritual judges all things, that he himself rightly judged by no one. Right? So this no one understands. Without the Spirit of God, you cannot understand the scriptures. And that's one of the functions of the Spirit of God, to illuminate the scripture, right? The doctrine of illumination, where he's able to help the believer to understand the text, right? It's one of the functions of the Holy Spirit. So none who understands, right? So none. Let's do this. Let's highlight these. None righteous, right? None who understands. There's none who seeks after God. We're gonna get into we might get into a lengthy discussion here, I think. Let's talk about seeking after God, right? And I'm gonna open up. Let's fix this here. I'm gonna open up the passage in Acts that talks about this. So we're gonna go a little deep, right? So can someone seek after God by their own will, right? Or is it God's election? We're gonna talk about this just for a little bit. We're not gonna spend all the time on this, but I do want to touch on this topic, because this is an interesting verse pertaining to that. Okay, hang on a second. Let's see. Find the right one. Okay, 26 to 27. That's it. It's 26 to 27. All right. Anyway, so over here, so notice this. This is Acts 17, 26 to 27. And he has made from one blood every nation of men to dwell on the face of the earth, and has determined their pre-appointed times and the boundaries of their dwellings, so that they should seek the Lord. Wait a minute, Paul. But didn't you say no one seeks after God? Right? So you see why I'm trying to emphasize this here? In the hope that they might grope for him and find him, though he's not far from each one of us. Right? So how do we understand this? How do we understand when it says here, when Paul's quoting, when it says none who seeks after God, and yet he tells the Greeks here, the philosophers, that he pre-appointed times so that they should seek the Lord. Right? Now, different Christian traditions are going to give you different answers. Right? I'm going to be straight up here. Right? If you're Calvinist, Arminian, Molinist, coming from different backgrounds, there's going to be different answers. So I'll say this. I'll give you my understanding of this. When it speaks of those that seek after the Lord here in Acts, it is not speaking of people that by their own will seek after God. Because notice it says in the previous verse, and has determined their pre-appointed times and boundaries of their dwellings. Right? Notice the sovereignty of God there. Right? It's also the purpose of why God created them, so that they should seek him. Think of the law. The law is written so that we should know what is right and wrong and do it. It doesn't mean everyone does it. So if God says that, if Paul is saying here that God determined the times of nations when they should rise so that they should seek the Lord, does that mean that they're all going to seek him? No. Cross-reference it with what Paul says in his letter. No one seeks after God. You need the Spirit of God to illuminate you, to guide you, to reveal to you the truth so that you can seek after him. That's going to be my understanding of what's going on here. And we could go on about different ways Christians might understand this. I'm going to leave it at that for the sake of time because I can't be here all night, unfortunately. I already wasted time trying to fix this, and it's, anyways. So, just a little reminder, I'm doing open Q&A and open discussion on the Hebrew Roots movement. So, if you have a question, not necessarily related to this text, feel free to ask it. And if you are Hebrew Roots or anyone that's not a Christian, you're feel free to join, and we can have a discussion. Just gonna let you know, I'm not dealing with trolls right now. I'm already in a bit of a not the best mood after the previous stream I just attempted. So if you come here to troll, don't expect me to play nice with you. Just a little warning right now. Anyways, so none of them seek after God. Verse 12, they have all turned aside. Right? They go the other way. Right? Think of, I don't know if you, I would come up, I don't mind, but the link isn't working. I find Restream more reliable. What's going on, man? This is, let's see. I don't know what's going on here. This is so odd. I don't know what's going on. I think Zara Grace that it's something on your end, because when I try it, it works perfectly fine. So I don't know what it is. If copy the link here. Can't. Problem is, it doesn't ever let me copy the link. That's the one thing that StreamYard isn't reliable for, or YouTube in general. Look, I'm gonna try to paste it, but it's gonna tell me no. Let me share the screen really quick. Let me show you. Here, let me show you the problem that I'm having with sending a link. This is why I always send it in the description, because it's just here. Look, it says YouTube rejected your comment. This is fairly common when sharing a link. So there, you may need to send the link. That's why I always send it in the description. So I mean, I don't know if I can do it like this. Where's the where are the brackets? I don't know why it does this to me. I'm literally the owner of this channel, but I can't send links on my own page. Anyways, I'm gonna keep going because this is like I'm not gonna fight with YouTube here. I just can't. So I'm gonna truck through it. No one, I doubt anyone's gonna join anyway. So, they'll all turned aside, right? Because notice, let's go back to Acts. Really, oh, I didn't share the screen. Hold on, sorry. So they've all turned aside, right? They've all turned aside. And notice what it says in Acts, first of all, right? When it says that they should seek after God, right? So that they should seek the Lord. And yet in Romans, it says they have turned aside. They have all turned aside, right? Notice the universality of everything Paul is saying. All, none, everyone, no exception. And there's an issue I have with the Hebrews movement there. You're going to tell me that for the entirety of the book, Paul only speaks of part of the world, just the Hebrews, both Jew and Greek, the ones that are scattered and the ones that are still there, right? This term Greek only references part of the world. Is Paul not saying that all the world is sinful? He's referring to all the world here. So then when he later talks about how all the world can, okay, yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you. Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm gonna pin this comment. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Wait. I just realized I can join on my alt account and make myself a dude. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get back to the text, I promise. But let me just do this really quick. Let me grab my alt account here. Let me join my main channel. Yeah, I can. I'll pin it in a second. I just want to join as I'm actually. Let me do that right now. I got my alt account here. I'm gonna make myself a moderator of my alt account so I can start pasting links. Okay. What the heck? All right. Yes. Thank God for helping us. The Lord is good. How do I pin this? Hold on. Let me unpin this. Unpin message. Pin message. And then add as moderator. There we go. There we go. All right. Anyways, so just so you guys know, this is my alt account. Uh, yes, okay, I get it. Right, this is my alt account here. So I'm next time we'll do another test. Right, sometime. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this alt account and see if I can paste the link from there as a moderator. So yeah. So don't get it mad at John G8K6S for calling me a kafir. That's me. All right, that's me. All right. Anyways, so let me actually leave the stream because I don't need to be there. Yeah, I already left. All right. So let's get back to the text as I promised. So they have all turned aside, right? They turned aside, right? The other direction, as I mentioned, they should seek the Lord, but they turn aside. That's why I don't think this text is applicable to here to say that, well, people seek after God by their own will. Because then when you line that up with Romans chapter 3, things don't make sense. Okay. So then you're telling me that they can seek after God, but then Paul says there's none who seeks after God. How do you reconcile that? When you read the next verse, it says they have all turned aside. They should seek after the Lord, but they don't. They turn aside because they hate God. They cannot seek after God in their own will. They do not do good. They're not righteous. They don't understand. They don't seek him. They turn aside. They go the other way. Right? Think of all right. Anyway, so I don't know why I wrote you're a kafir, man. I could have used any other sentence. Anyway, so think about it. When you're driving down a road, you have two paths, right? Let's say you're just kind of driving, just chilling, going around, strolling through town. There are two paths, right? If you turn to the left, you get nice restaurants. There's a whole nice field with flowers, dandelions, those good flowers. Um, pretty cool stores, whatever, right? Anything you might think of, anything good you might like. The other direction, it's a dump. It's a dump, right? Which way you're gonna go? You're gonna turn aside, right, to the direction that has the goods. You're gonna turn aside, right? You're not gonna, you're not gonna go after to the side of the dump, right? You want to go the other way. So, similarly, the nature of God causes the natural man, which we just spoke of, to turn aside, right? They turn aside. They have together become unprofitable. Let me get the study note because I kind of forgot sort of the information regarding this. But that essentially means that they're useless, right? They're useless. Okay, it doesn't tell me here. So give me 1 second. Oh wait, MacArthur Study Bible is down here. Interesting. It doesn't tell me here either. All right, but notice that they're useless, right? I'm gonna pull up a commentary here, and good David Goodzik. He's good, mostly. I don't always agree with him, but I think he's really helpful. So we're gonna go down. Okay, look at this, right? The word unprofitable has the idea of rotten fruit, right? Rotten fruit. It speaks of something that was permanently bad and therefore useless, right? So think of when the apple goes bad, right? The apple goes bad. Can't eat it anymore. It's useless, right? You got to throw it out, right? So when we bring it back to Romans here, they have together become unprofitable. They're like rotten fruit. They're useless, right? You want to get moral guidance from someone that is at the lowest of low. I don't know if low is the right word, but that they themselves are evil, not good. They are immoral. They're sinful. They're useless. They're unprofitable, right? You're not gonna have them help you with being a good person. They themselves are not good. Bringing this, and let's bring this back to a practical example in Scripture, right? Mark 10:18. Why do you call me good? No one is good but God alone. Oh, you see, Jesus is not God. He's denying his deity. But hang on a second. Let's go there and notice. Notice what Paul said. They have become unprofitable. Why? Because now they're morally useless. So let's go to Mark 10. So why do you call me good? No one is good but God. Okay. And then he gives them the commandments, right? I'm not gonna give the full breakdown of this passage right now. I'll make a video on that eventually. But just so you know, he's giving the commandments. You know the commandments. Young ruler says, I did all these for my youth. And then Jesus says, one thing you lack. Go your way, sell whatever you have, and give to the poor. And you'll have treasure in heaven. And come take off your cross and follow me. Wait a minute, Jesus. But if you are not good, if you're like the rest of the world, unprofitable, how come you're saying to follow me? Oh, he's not like the rest of the world. He's not unprofitable. Okay. So then why are you arguing this point? If he's not good, then what is he? Is he in the middle ground? Is he good enough? What point are you arguing here? What is Jesus saying that he is if he's not good? Who would you follow? The one that is good or the one that's all right? Right? Jesus' command here has no weight if you say that he is not good. Right? So they become altogether become unprofitable. Right? They are useless for moral guidance. And yet Jesus is good. And so you can follow him and follow his moral guidance because he is good. And he is good because he is God. What a connection, right? What do you guys think of that connection? I think there's only two in the chat. The two of you in the chat. What do you think of that connection, right? Makes sense? Their throat is an open tomb. This is the portion where he starts speaking of their language, how the the universal sinful people of this world speak. Their throat is an open tomb. Let me find where it's quoting from first of all. (10:7), Psalm 5:9, Psalm 10:7. One second. One second. I think next time I'm gonna have this set up beforehand, especially in the John study, so you guys, so like I'm not, this doesn't go horribly. Anyways, so this is what Paul is quoting from Psalm 5:9. I notice it says here, "The throat is an open tomb," right? Notice it also says, "For there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Their inward part is destruction. Their throat is an open tomb. They flatter with their tongue." Right? Their throat is an open tomb with the poison with their tongues they have practiced deceit. Right? So the wording is slightly different, possibly because either Paul is quoting the Greek Septuagint. Okay, take your time. You're not obligated to be here. So, the wording is a little different, either because Paul is quoting the Greek Septuagint, or he's paraphrasing. Right? Either way, it's not an issue. So flattery would also be a form of deceit, right? Like if I use nice words that flatter you, that make you feel good, to make you do something, that's a form of deceit. So let me give myself a big screen. I want to make sure that this looks right. Okay, it's fine. Right. So either way, Paul's quoting this. Well, now notice, right? Their throat was an open tomb. What a description, right? A tomb where there is death. There's a dead person in the tomb. That is what the mouth of the sinful person is. An open tomb. When it opens up, you get the stink of the rotting body. You see the worms eating up the body. You see all that there. That is the mouth of the unbelieving sinful man. It's an open tomb that spreads its smell of death out. Right? It just brings death. With their tongues, they have practiced deceit. Right? Oh, hang on a second. Psalm 140, verse 3. I think Paul is also quoting something else here. Give me 1 second. Yep, okay. He's quoting something else also. The poison of asps is under their lips. right? Um, I'm gonna look up. Actually, I can just use the commentary. Okay, this one is too broad. So let me go to the Greek really quick. The poison of asps. What is asps, right? You have the Greek word aspidon, or the root word aspis. This is an asp, which is a small and most venomous serpent, the bite of which is fatal unless the bitten part be immediately cut away. Right? Notice how that works out. Okay. Notice how that works out, right? So let's bring that back to Paul's argument. The poison of asps is under their lips. If the asps bite causes poison to the point where unless you cut off that part, you're gonna die, then this person that has the poison of asps under their lips, you need to get away from them. You need to cut them away from your life, or you yourself are gonna die. Whether that be a physical death because of their poison that they spew, or you're gonna die in your sins, like Jesus says in John 8:24. You don't want to be around those people. Get away from them. Paul talks about this, I believe, not having company with certain people because of their sin extending to you when you dwell around them, right? The being around the wrong people, it's going to affect you negatively. I've experienced this personally. I'm not going to go into all the detail in the world because I'd rather keep this mostly private, but I've been in the presence of people that have literally changed me, and once I cut them off, it basically saved my life. Like, it actually felt like it saved my life. We got Dub on the stage, so I don't know if we'll pause the study here. Dub, how you doing?
Pretty good. I'll wait for you to get to a spot and then address some things.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm happy to, like, Zara Grace also here. How you doing? Uh, I'm happy to just because this is a long, like, I'm doing a whole
Yeah.
chapter and a half here.
Okay.
So
Well, I mean, so what you're constantly going to see from like a Hebrew Israelite is something to do with Jesus's skin color. Correct
yep,
me if I'm wrong, right? Is that
yeah, that's one of them. Yep.
okay? So I don't now. I'm going to ask you because I know obviously I believe that you're somebody who is um going to be very non-biased on the situation. Can you show me any Bible verse that shows any male Hebrew Israelite that is black in the entire Bible? Do you think you can do that? And if you can, just try it, and then we'll see what you think and how I play off
Um,
it. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know if there's any verse that says that, and there's probably reason why, because it's not really important. Um, if I wanted to know about what the Israelites looked like, I would probably go to just history or history textbook to see, like, and but the Bible doesn't really talk about it. There might be exceptions. Like, I think there's a guy in Acts chapter 13 that's called Niger. I think he was like probably because he was a little bit more noticeable for being dark than others. But that's, it's like the thing, like, that's an exception, right? So I don't think there's anywhere in the Bible where it emphasizes the point that Israelites are black or that Jesus is black, because it's just not important, right? If Jesus was a white man, it wouldn't change the
Oh,
entirety of his teachings, right? So
okay,
it's
okay,
not a
okay. So So even in Acts 13:1, where it does say Niger, but that's somebody's name, couldn't it be argued that it's just somebody's name and it has nothing to do with their physical attributes?
Could be. I don't know all the details pertaining to that. So
You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying? Like, but see, but that's part of the thing. I mean, if you're not getting anyone to come up here to challenge Hebrew Israelites, um, hey Zara, what's going on? How are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you? How are you, brothers? Both of you.
Good.
How are you? Can you hear me?
um,
Yeah.
yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Good, cool. Headsets aren't always reliable. But yeah, it's good. It's good to be with you, brothers. You both do amazing jobs. Yeah. So yeah, I'll just mute myself and listen to you both, and I'll add in when need be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of, yeah, it does to me, and I'm sure, young Christian, she's making sense. But it's always good to see you up on a panel. You know what I mean? You rarely see Zara on a panel, in my mind.
Yeah.
But
Well, can I just introduce myself? I'm Zara Grace. I'm a Christian and a ex-Muslimer. Um, yeah, I do. I do trigger people, and they trigger me. So I'm going to be honest about that. Yeah, and it's good to be with you, brothers. Brother Maverick today invited me on his panel, and there's far too many Christians, and it uh, I just thought no, it was just too much,
you're
really.
being brave right now. She, a young Christian, she does not. She is very shy. So
Yeah. Well, sometimes I'm not in the chat that much once I get the tiger's eye kind of situation. But yeah, I like to talk less, listen more, and only interject when need be. Uh, yeah, it's difficult for us ex-Muslims, especially ex-Muslim women and ex-Muslim. Yeah, my husband keeps saying to me, "It's the right road," because I used to introduce myself as I'm an ex-Muslim and a Christian. My husband said, "No, you need to stop saying that. You need to say I'm a Christian first, and then I'm an ex-Muslim." And I think he's right. I think he's right. That's the way I should put it. So I'm learning now a new way of talking. I'm a Christian and an ex-Muslimer, and
you
yeah,
got reborn. You got reborn. There's no need to talk about your past. You got
yeah.
reborn.
Well, amen, and all glory to God. But people want to talk about it. People want to know, and I think that's important. I think it's important for us, especially women. We need to be talking, ex-Muslim women. We need to be talking about leaving Islam because I think that would give other Muslim women. What did Jesus say? All you need to do uh, is plant a seed the size of a mustard seed, and that's that's my intention, really. Just plant a seed, a small seed, with the help of the Holy Spirit into Muslim women's brains, and see what fruit comes from that. And that's all I can do, really. So yeah. So thank you, Dubs. Thank you very much for being so kind. So yeah, brothers, go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry,
Okay.
young Christian, that I taken over your chat.
No,
This
that's
is what
that's
happens.
no,
This is what happens
that's
when you
fine.
let
It's just
ex-Muslims on, and and all the
yeah.
technical issues. I think we worked it out now. I think we worked the technical
Yeah,
issues out. Okay.
yeah.
So
No,
I'm going to mute
I'm
myself,
just
and you brothers keep, continue. And if later on you want
I
to ask
mean,
me some questions, that's
it's
fine.
actually it's brilliant because I think that me and young Christian know all the common verses like Jeremiah, I think 14:2 or something, where it says the gates are black, and we know all these things already. We've already ran across them. So it's it's refreshing to have you actually come up on a panel. You know what I mean? Because I know you've been mentioning in the comments section that you're reluctant to do so, but you're an asset, you know? So, but I'd love to go through some of the verses that Hebrew Israelites commonly go across with young Christian and see if he's ran across them yet and all that stuff. But
Sure.
you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you think that's appropriate, but
Yeah, we can do that. I don't mind.
excellent. Okay.
By the way,
So
Dub,
yeah,
just really quick
I think
before we get
Jeremiah
into this.
14:2 is one of them. I'm not exactly sure if it's Jeremiah 14:2, but I'm trying to think. It's probably not Jeremiah. It's like something else. It's been a little while since I've battled them. Let me see if it's Jeremiah 14:2.
Jeremiah 14:2 says, Judah mourns and her gates languish. They mourn for the
Yes.
land and they cry for that one.
Yeah.
That's I don't know how that would pertain to I don't know how that would.
So okay, so Jeremiah 14:2 written I think in different in different what do you call it, translations reads differently. It doesn't say they sit on the ground in mourning, it says like they are black. So that's the way that they read it. If you see that, then you'll understand why they use it that way. Probably KGB. I read it in the
Probably
SB 95. So
Yeah, it's probably KJV. The thing is, it's that's metaphor. So even if we grant that translation, that's metaphorical
yeah,
language, right? To describe. You see that in the Psalms, right? When David says, "I make my bed a river," right? Is David sleeping in the river? No, it's metaphorical language to describe his state, that he is crying a lot in despair for his situation. So here, let me pull up the texts for people to see. By the
I
way, Dub, just
agree.
really quick.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
I don't know
And
the
before
double check though. Double check, young Christian. Yeah, here, double
I
check
can
on
double
the.
check. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Whoops. Hold on. Whoops. Let me fix this. Hold on. Oh. Okay. I just destroyed everything. Oh boy.
Oh well, we can always have patience and wait.
All right. There we go. I fixed it. Okay. So just really quick, double. So before we continue, do you mind if we talk about something after the stream? I don't want to say this in public. I want to make sure we just talk one on one without people like, you know,
Oh,
hearing it.
or who are you talking to? Me?
Yeah.
Are
After
you?
the stream.
Oh, for sure.
I,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. I thought you were talking to both me and Dubs, but okay.
No. You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll hold on. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, let's so yeah, let me see. Let me double check the KJV. Where is it? Uh I'm assuming it's KJV because that's the one they typically use. Okay, yeah, so Judah mourneth and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground. Okay.
There you go. Yep.
Now let me go back to NKJV. I just want to see what it said, and I'm gonna go to the Hebrew. So let's go ahead and check KJV. Oops. It says they mourn for the land. Okay. So they are black under the ground. It sounds like it's just like a metaphorical description, but that might not even be what the Hebrew says. So let's double check. Oops. Jeremiah 14:2. Let's see.
And I have a good
Look
one
at
actually that I want to double check with you on language. Actually, the linguistics of it. I have a really good one, but and it has nothing to do with Hebrew Israelites, nothing like that.
yeah. So you see this
Yeah.
here, the Hebrew word to mourn be dark, right? So think about it like this, right? If I say it's a dark day, but there's no clouds in the sky, am I speaking literally? You got it? If I say it's a dark day, but there's no clouds in the sky, it's a bright sunny day. I'm not speaking of the physical appearance of the day. I'm thinking of metaphorically the circumstances of the day. Like let's say, you know, America falls as a nation, right? That's a dark that you can call that a dark day.
You'd be sad.
Right, it's sad. So when it says that they are, let me go back to actually KJV is right here. Let me get rid of this. I don't want to keep this here. Hold on a second. So let's go back to, so when it says that they're black unto the ground, it's speaking of mourning. That's all it is. Because think
Right,
about
like would you
Yeah.
say it's sackcloth and ashes kind
Yeah.
of scenario? If they are black, indeed, if the skin color was black, it would be of that of sackcloth and ashes, which indicates a mourning state, as far as the Jewish culture goes.
That's also true, right? So
Yeah.
and if you read the verse, like, because remember the language has to parallel because it's very poetic. So if it says Judah mourneth, and the gates language, so it's speaking of their sadness, then the next phrase just randomly says, yeah, by the way, they have black skin color, they're black people. Then says the cry of Jerusalem has gone up. That's inconsistent. That's not how this poetic language is supposed to be interpreted. It's supposed to parallel, right? So if you're gonna take away one block, one line, and say this is about something else, and then it changes again, that's an inconsistent interpretation of the passage. It makes it incoherent.
Right. Okay. So, all right, we're in agreement there. I think we've covered that verse fairly well, but that's a common verse that they will use. And there's another one in Job, basically, like they refer to Job, uh, and it basically says Job describes the color of his skin as being like awkward, like it's not his normal color of his skin, but it's because he's feeling sick, and it's because, again, I think he's going with the sackcloth and ashes. I don't have the exact. It might be Job 6:6, but let's try Revelation 1 and
I
14.
don't see.
That's very common. Revelation 1:14 to 16, and that could have to do with the translation here with this one. But I'm interested to hear how your translation, what you read, versus I already know that.
Really quick, let me pull up what I think it's verse 20. Let me double check. Give me 1 second. I just want to verify that I have the right passages here.
Yeah, no
Okay,
problem.
yep. All right, alrighty. So Revelation 1:14 to 16. I hear this one a lot. Like even not even from
Yeah.
Hebrew Israelites, just some random people like, oh, Jesus is black. Look at the so it says his head and hair were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes like a flame of fire. His feet were like fine brass. I think this is the part that they emphasize because it's more
Yeah.
brass is more brownish, as if refined in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. He had in his right hand 7 stars. Out of the mouth of it, out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword, and his countenance was like the sun shining in its strength. Right? So they're gonna take that and say, well, if his feet are like fine brass, then doesn't mean his skin color is black. But here's the problem. Revelation is a very heavily symbolic book. Even if you have a premillennial view of eschatology and interpret it more literally, you're still going to interpret parts of it as metaphorically, right? So I'm going to go down just to give you an example, right? Because Revelation will always point you back to the Old Testament. This is Daniel chapter 10, starting from verse 5. I lifted my eyes, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose waist was girded with the gold of Uphaz. Now, let me just double check because I want to. I believe it
You
speaks.
must be. Are you 10? Are you at 10:6?
I'm on 10.5. I'm trying to. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
His body was like beryl. This is one of the.
Okay. Okay. We're on the same page.
Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, beryl is a similar color to brass, right? It says his face appeared is like the appearance of lightning, right? So that's whoops. Come on, man.
No, it's good that you know this stuff, though. That's very, very good.
Oh, but I learned about this before I even heard the objection, man.
I'm
It's like a study
sure.
in Daniel I did. Yeah. So
No, you're a smart. You are a very protected young man. That's very,
My
very
young,
good.
yeah, our younger brother knows his stuff, doesn't he? Yeah. I have to say, we're referring to you, younger brother, because you're younger than me, young
I
Christian.
know he's very protected. I know he is like that, and that's
Oh,
good.
yeah. God. Oh, yeah. I get it. Yeah, I see it. Yeah. All right.
yep. See his so it says his face like the appearance of lightning. This is the what the spirit appearing to Daniel in Daniel 10. But in this is it also says this in Revelation 16. Or excuse me, Revelation 1 verse 16, right? His countenance was like the sun shining in its strength. Now, let's keep going. His eyes like the torches of fire. Let's highlight this. Make it green. Let's go back. Where is it? Where is it? His eyes like the flame of fire. Right? So
Yeah.
he's so you see the pair and there's more, but I'm gonna stop right there because you guys get the point. So
No. Fully explain it. It's your channel, my
Fully
friend.
explain it. Come on, brother.
Heck
We're,
yeah, why not?
yeah, as long as you're willing to keep going, we're with you. Keep
Get
going.
into
Dubs,
it, man. No,
actually,
because
Dubs,
I'll get into it
don't
too.
leave.
I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
as
say
long
it.
as you're happy. Let's get
Zara,
into it.
Zara. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say it the same way that young Christian's gonna say it, but I think that he should cover it. It's important because if this is a Hebrew Israelite channel where he's trying to challenge them and they're not coming up here, then let's go over what they believe in, the rebuttals and all that stuff. Just so if any Christian comes across one of them, they could be like, "Oh, really? I've heard this before." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Let's
yeah,
get into the meat of it. Let's get
Heck
into the
yeah!
meat of it.
Let's dive
Yeah.
into the meat.
yeah.
Yes,
I
no. Long as young Christian is happy, and we have to respect his time. But yeah, I'm happy to get into the meat of this because I have to say, as a Christian, I'm in the milk right now, and I learn from these brothers. I learn. They're mentoring me without
Well,
realizing
I
they're
mean,
mentoring me.
Zara,
So
Zara, I can give it to him really quick, right? And tell me if I'm wrong. Uh, Revelation 1, 14. It says his head was
right.
white,
Right.
and it says his hair. So we'll go there. His head was white, though. So not only his hair was white, but his head was white. So both of those are white things. Then when we move on to verse 15, in what I'm reading, it says his feet were like burnished bronze when it has been made to glow in a furnace. I mean, people don't put things into a furnace unless they're talking about like metal, okay? And then so when it has been made to glow, how can we come up with a definitive color? We can't.
Right.
Because when a metal is glowing, it's turning a bunch of different colors. So how could you say that that's black? Because it's not. It's easily not. And then when you switch back and you go to Daniel 10:6, which was what he's saying, uh, his body was also like beryl. His face had the appearance of lightning. I've never seen black lightning in my life. So this is just it's nonsense when you start to turn into the demographics of just skin identification. It's stupid
So
because
so
it
no
just
you
doesn't fit.
so there's
Go ahead.
4 main parallels here, right? So you have the eyes are like a flame of fire. Daniel says his eyes are like torches of fire. Verse 17, his feet were like fine brass. Daniel says his arms and feet like burnished bronze in color. His voice is the sound of many waters. The sound of his voice was like the voice of the multitude. His countenance was like the sun shining in its strength. His face like the appearance of lightning. So if Revelation number 1 points you back to the Old Testament, and number 2 is symbolic, I think the point that's being communicated here is that this being that appeared to Daniel is the same being appearing to John here, who happens to be Jesus Christ if you keep reading. That's the point. It's not talking about the literal description of what Jesus looked like. Because remember, Jesus looked like a normal dude. So his voice as the sound of many waters, that would make no sense if you see it in the context of him speaking in a general conversation to the Pharisees, right? Like that's not what you typically see, right? Otherwise it would indicate it in the text. Why does this guy sound like this? No, they talk to him like a normal dude. Jesus destroys the Pharisees, obviously, but not by just the sound of his voice, right? He uses the scriptures, he uses reasoning. So that's the point of this passage, right? And if we go down, Revelation 1:20, the mystery of the 7 stars which you saw on my right hand, and the 7 golden lampstands. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, or the messengers, right? And the 7 lampstands which you saw are the 7 churches. But it says back in Revelation here that he had in his right hand 7 stars. Out of his mouth went. Wait a minute, hold on. Where's the lampstand? Okay, I think that's a little later, but you
Yeah,
see how
that's in 2020.
Okay, but you see how it says in his right hand are 7 stars. So if you're going to interpret this as Jesus's earthly look, you're going to say that Jesus literally held 7 stars in his hand, that he literally had 8 eyes, the flames of fire, literally had a head and hair that were like, well, and to your point, Dove, it says that he has a head of wool, right? So his head is like white, apparently.
Oh, the
right?
wool? Okay, yeah, the wool's a different thing, but go ahead. Because they use that, though, don't they? Use the wool, and it's like to say that no one else can get dreadlocks. Come on, man. That's everyone can get dreadlocks. It doesn't matter, regardless of color, people can grow dreadlocks. I guarantee you that. So
Yeah. I mean,
that's
it doesn't look good. I don't know if it would look good on many other people. I think black people are mainly
Yeah.
the only people that can run
okay,
it. But
fair enough.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, can I just say something? Can I
go
just
ahead.
say something that I normally say to Muslims in the chat? That I know we argue and everybody wants to argue about the skin color of Jesus and everybody, but Jesus is God and he can come in any shape, form, and color he likes. If he wants to have bronze feet and eyes as fire, he can. And that's what I think. I think otherwise we're restricting God. God can come in any way he likes, in any color, in any shape, in any form. He came as a burning bush to Moses. Uh, so yeah, I just think it's a little bit of a yeah. That's what I generally say to the Muslims. Does that
Yep.
make sense?
Right. Because the burning bush, right? So if God can appear in the burning bush, the appearance of his physical state is irrelevant. It is who it is that we're speaking of is what's important, right? So the whole Jesus is black thing, it's first of all not even taught in the Bible. It's not a doctrinal thing. But secondly, it's irrelevant. It's it's
Uh,
not it's not how we identify our Savior. It's who he is, what he did, right?
yeah, and I mean, I don't mean to cut you off there, right? But there are groups that will go so far as to say that Song of Solomon 1:5, 1:5 and 6 is actually a black male, and that's not a male. That's a female, and that is specifically IUIC. They've made actually posters out of that to say that that's Solomon, when in fact that's Solomon's wife. So it's just crazy the lengths that people will go just to try to get one verse to prove their racist doctrine, to try to pull it out of the Bible to divide people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but isn't it? Doesn't later? I don't remember because it's been a while since. But isn't it later in Song of Solomon that Solomon actually says he's white, or so it says that descriptively?
That Song of Solomon 5:10, but it says he's ruddy.
Buddy. Oh,
Yeah, and
so
then
that's
ruddy, when you look it up in the Zondervan's dictionary, it says it's like the opposite of dark. So, and I don't have that on hand, but I ran into that with someone else in a live somewhere. So it's interesting, but it's comical because they try to use that. They try to use that. Just anything they can try to grab a hold of for those who are like less of a biblical IQ, they'll take anything they can and they will run with it. And it's really messed up. I mean, that's
okay.
bad.
Yeah, it says he's white and ruddy, so the word is dazzling, glowing, clear, bright. So I don't know if I would use. Well, if they interpret it literally, then they're gonna have to be consistent and say, "Oh, then it means he's white," right? So that's obviously I
Well, I
wouldn't.
mean, white could, let's say white meant valiant. And like it was just somebody who was really pure, right? Of thought and of doings. But then ruddy, we can go back and see what that means. And then that's been described actually from, I think David was described as ruddy. I think that what Esau was described as ruddy. So then,
Right.
I mean, we just have there's various descriptions of ruddy, but then they want to twist it and say that ruddy definitely means this, and I don't even care. For just to even the playing field, I don't care because I'm not trying to say that Jesus was one color or another, but they are. So then that's what reaches us to this apex point of arguing about it or anything, and it's applicable to your title. So if we can talk about it a little bit, I don't to me, either way, Jesus was black, Jesus was white, it doesn't matter. But if you're trying to say Jesus was black and then you're trying to pin me down and say the only thing that I can be in heaven is a slave, I'm gonna fight back, right? I mean, that's just the way it goes. It's period.
So you see, like for example, it's the same word in 2 Kings 3:22, and the Moabites saw the water on the other side as red as blood, right? Ruddy, the same word. So it's if we're gonna be consistent, then in Song of Solomon chapter 5, Solomon's wife describes him as ruddy, right? So if we're gonna interpret it like that, okay, fine. So then he's red, like Esau, right?
Yeah,
So let me go to
yeah.
Genesis. I think it's 25. That's the descendants of Esau. I mean Ishmael. Where's
I just think that in today's society, what's happening is people are trying to change definition of words, or if they're not doing that, they're certainly using word salad to make certain people or certain populations feel bad about how the past has gone. So if somebody conquered some certain land, I'm going to make you feel bad and make you want to hand your land over, to somebody because you are a supposed conqueror. No, that's not the way it works. I mean, come on,
right?
man. You're not going to make me feel bad. God gave me this land. God put me right here where I'm supposed to be. We are made for this such a time in order to make things happen according to his word and according to letting people understand.
And you see, it's not the same Hebrew word here, but it's a similar one. What it describes Esau as ret or ruddy, right? So if we're gonna be consistent, then you're gonna call Solomon an Edomite, right? That's doesn't work. Doesn't work.
Well, so have you also, young Christian, have you ever looked at Zechariah 13 and 4?
Zechariah what? 13:3-4?
13 and 4.
13:4.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me spell Zechariah right first of all.
Oh, well, that would be helpful. I hope you're doing well in your studies and all that, by the way, buddy.
Hold on, let me turn up the volume. I can't hear. What did you say?
I said I hope you're doing well in your studies and all that, but it was Zechariah 13:4.
Zechariah 13:4. And it shall be in that day that every prophet will be ashamed of his vision when he prophesies. They will not wear a robe of coarse hair to deceive.
A hairy robe. So it's interesting because I think this hairy robe, that particular description on mine, again, I'm in the NASB 95. So the hairy robe piece, it's weird because it kind of coincides with the description of Esau, the hairy robe. You see, I don't remember exactly where the Esau's description is or whatever, but yeah, it's like red hairy something, whatever. But the hairy robe, and they will not put it on anymore. They won't be able to hide that Jesus is the Messiah. So it's interesting. I just think it's an interesting piece, something that I picked up on, because I pick up on some, odd stuff, and not everyone has to agree with me, but just
Yeah.
he was hairy all over, right?
So here
Esau was hairy all over.
I'm looking at the Reformation Study Bible. It says that false prophets will deny that they were prophets for fear of punishment and will refuse to wear the traditional clothing symbolic of a prophet. And it's pointing to 2 Kings 1:8 and Matthew 3:4. So that's probably why they will not put on a hairy robe. Not necessarily that has anything to do with Esau, but that's how. Let me look up this passage.
No, not necessarily. I mean, it strikes me, because this hairy robe, and Esau's hairy all over in red, but it strikes me a little bit.
It's a hairy man.
Yeah, those hairy guys. What would you do to those hairy guys, Zara? Would you tell them to just go ahead and buzz all that off?
I'd just say electric shaver, guys. Electric shaver.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
Don't say things like that to me because I do come out with some random stuff sometimes.
All right. Well, I mean, I had to get you back in here for a second.
Yeah. No, I'm listening. I will put in when I need to put in. I'm not one of these people that has to have my voice always heard. It's a difficult one for me, really. I don't want to become like the attack person.
I needed a little bit of a comedic break, right?
No, bro, you're right. I'd be like,
but we're, you know what I mean? We're just studying and comparing.
Yeah, I'd say get the razor out, bro. But or get down the waxing salon. But seriously, yeah, it's crazy. Keep going. I'll put in when I will.
All right. All
Believe
right.
me.
That was good.
I'm on my best. I'm on my best behaviour until the Muslims turn up. Then
Hmm.
yeah, I'm a bit like word in the box, but
Gotcha.
I think I'm a little bit older than her, and I'm sort of at a different place than she is. So yeah. So keep going. Don't worry. Zara will
Okay.
come out. But yeah.
No problem. No problem.
Enjoy, enjoy this nice, peaceful, quiet Zara.
What else? What else you got, Dub? I got like 20 more minutes or so. So,
No. What did you have on that though? Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I'm not sure because I mean, if you're saying like something along the lines of Harry is uh something that is descriptive of the true prophets, yet it's also descriptive of Esau. I can kind of somewhat see what you're saying, but
Like a
I'm not.
deception factor. A deception factor. Like
Hmm,
you will not put on a hairy robe. You cannot deceive anyone at that point. You can't put
okay.
on a hairy robe. So then at the same time, like Esau came out hairy with a hairy garment, hairy. He was hairy. So it's a deceptive factor. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have anything to do with like color of the skin necessarily, but it's a hair that it describes trying to put on a facade. It's that's kind of what I'm seeing there. I
See,
don't know
yeah.
if you're feeling that at all, but it's
Uh,
something that I've thought about.
I see that. I don't think I would personally use that as like an argument. Because it would come off as just very forced onto the text, and then if I'm talking to a Hebrew Israelite, they're rightfully going to call me out on that, and I don't want to give them any ammunition to rebuke Christians, right? If they're gonna
Yeah.
like, I don't know if you saw that conversation that God Logic had in that Hebrew Israelite show. Um, I don't want them to give them a reason to act like that, where they can say, "Oh, look at these
Oh,
Christians are idiots." I want them to look like idiots when they say that, if that makes sense. So,
well, I
uh,
mean, okay, so then in a conversation with them, it becomes a little fishy because you don't have a script when you're coming in there against them. So then you got to be able to dance on your toes. So in essence, they're going to say something like Moses. How is it that he was able to act like somebody from Egypt? And my response would be, okay, well, he actually grew up in Egypt, so he knew their lingo, all their stuff. He knew how to act like he was of the upper class. So that's what it's talking about. It's not talking about a skin color there, right? It's saying that he knew how to carry himself amongst people who he was not of the same exact color of skin wise. So that's what I would say, right? It's just a form of being able to defend without directly being able to say anything because I can't. I mean, the Bible doesn't say whether Jesus was black or white. So if somebody wants to say, I'm not arguing either way. Believe me, I'm not doing that. But if somebody wants to argue for one or the other, if you were to say he's white, I'd sit here and say the same thing. It's just we don't know, but and it's not even important at all. But at the same time, if somebody who wants to hold on to the Black Hebrews like traditions or whatever, then let's go. Moses was somebody who his mother gave him up, let him float down the river. He got picked up by an Egyptian woman. He got taught the Egyptian customs. He was of a rich society at that point. He got taught all of their customs. He was never going to let himself be mistreated at all. because he'd be like, I'll slap you in the back of the head and say, what are you doing? So how are you going to tell me that I'm not correct? He was just a adopted kid that got brought up in um, wealthy ways, and that's why he fit in. So he could have been mistaken for a Egyptian. Who cares? What's the point? What's the problem at that point? I don't see it. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Um,
You know, I don't know if
yeah,
you've heard those verses, but I've heard that one. They've dug that deep on me. So
yeah, I've heard the one in Song of Solomon and the one in Revelation. The others I haven't heard, but it's like you literally need to look at the verse itself and see, okay, there's probably something else going on here. Because when you interpret it as, oh, they're black, things are just incoherent.
well,
Any other? Go ahead.
yeah, so they're gonna bring up the fact that I think somewhere in there it does basically say that Moses was could have been mistaken for an Egyptian, but that doesn't mean that somebody's skin color was mistaken as an Egyptian. It just means they acted like an Egyptian. So they were rich, as an Egyptian was rich, and they were brought up that way. And that's pretty much all. It doesn't mean nothing. It's like
All
the
right.
name Niger.
Can I just say that I think if we're looking at skin colour from Egypt to Asia and Africa, we can go from really dark skin to olive skin to really pale skin. It all depends in the time we're talking about. And I think if we get so caught up in skin colour, then we're losing the rest of the message. Does that
Oh
make
yeah.
sense?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Like, I'm South Asian genetically, but I'm so pale, it's ridiculous. No one would look at me and think I'm South Asian. When I say South Asian, I mean Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, that kind of region of the world. But I'm so pale that no one would believe that I come from that region. Well, genetically, I come from that. I'm born and bred in
But
the UK.
but there's no one. Okay, if anyone wanted to take anything serious about the Bible, you would think they'd be looking at like John 1, 13, 14, 15, something like that, to where it's like it doesn't matter where you come from or who you're related to, or in other words, what skin color you are. If you're a believer, then you fit in. That's that's that. We just clap our hands to it and we walk on. You know,
I think, I
it's
think,
as simple
I
as
think
that.
we can, yeah, I think we can get really caught up in what skin color Jesus and everybody was around them. But I think also equally, skin color doesn't matter to God. We are all His
Yeah,
children and His
exactly,
creation.
exactly, and that's where the subject of Hebrew Israelites comes into play. Unless one of them wanted to hop up here and I would just drop off and let young Christian take care of him because I know he can. But it's saying it right there, and it's mainly saying it to Jews. Actually, this is what this verse is saying.
Deb,
Is it's
Deb, are you talking about the black Hebrew Israelites who saying that Jesus was black? And
well, yeah,
is
yeah,
this
because that's the main
is this
topic.
where we're going?
The title is
Uh,
about them, right? So
yeah.
not that, but then and they have to battle with this. But the main thing, this wasn't even written to people who were going to be racist and say, "Oh, Jesus shouldn't skin color," blah blah blah. This is written to Jews. It's saying, listen, it doesn't matter the heritage you come from. It doesn't matter anymore. It's whoever wants to accept the fact that Jesus is the Messiah, the Savior, the one who takes all of your sins and and goes to the judge and says, "Hey, I got that. I got that. It's mine over here. I got it." You know? And that's basically, well, it's God saying it to God. I got those sins over here. Okay, you know? And so they're done. It's almost like if you believe in Jesus, here's what I think about it to make it really simple is like when you go in front of the Father, if you're wearing Jesus's glasses, then you're not going to see the Father, let's say, in a sense where if whoever sees the Father dies or whoever sees God dies, you're wearing Jesus's glasses, and the Father recognizes, listen, okay, you got my son's glasses on, you must be my son. All right, get out of here, go scram, go play in the yard or something, whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
that's just kind of the way it is. But
To Jesus.
people,
See, I think there's a little bit of a paradigm going on here. I think because we watch all sorts of different channels. Islam we know, is very racist. It focuses very much on skin color and stuff. And we know, in quotes, Muhammad was a white man. He wasn't. He can't
well,
possibly be.
nobody cares. The fact of the matter is, sorry, and you know this because I've seen you on plenty of channels. Nobody cares about Muhammad's
Yeah,
skin color at all. It's all
yeah.
about the theology behind everything.
Theology, but yeah, absolutely. But I just do think that God doesn't care about skin color. He didn't pick his children by skin color and how they were or how they are now, depending what climate we live in. Because, obviously we know where I live in the world, people are paler than where they live in Africa. And I don't think that God picks his children and his
I think that God
disciples by
I
his
think that
skin
God
color.
does. I think that God does pick its children, but it's so random
Oh,
and
no,
so
he picks
spread
his
out that we can't
children.
see it. We're not
No, no,
meant to see it that way. We're
Dub,
not meant to
Dub,
see it.
I'm not saying that God doesn't pick his children. Of course he does, but he doesn't pick them by skin color.
No. Yeah. You're
I'm
correct.
Sa-
It would be
I'm
easy to
South
identify.
Asian. Yeah, I'm South Asian, and like I said, I'm very pale. But he didn't pick me because I was pale. There are Christians in Bangladesh and India and Pakistan who are lot, probably 5 or 10 shades darker than me, and they have come to Christ. So I don't think God picks his children by their skin color because we are all his creation.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
To
does. So what I would like I want to hear a young Christian uh what is the most interesting question you've heard from somebody who's a Hebrew Israelite? What's the most interesting question you've heard towards a Christian? And then say that towards Zara, and let's see what she has to say.
most interesting question. Most of their questions are not very
Oh,
interesting.
Dub, you're putting
Yeah,
me
they
through.
are. I
Okay,
agree.
back up, Dub. You're putting me through my paces a lot sooner than I'm
No,
ready.
he would. Hey,
Uh,
believe me, he would take it easy on you. I know he's a excellent young Christian scholar. He's more of a scholar than I
Of
am. I'll
course.
just put it that way. But
I have to say, like I said, young Christian, I can see how old he is. He's my little brother. And I don't mean that in an offensive way because I'm older than him. And I wish I had the knowledge he does at my age.
no,
But
he's a great young lawyer. He really
I
is. He
am
really.
I'm a ex-Muslimer. I'm catching up with you guys. You lot guys are a lot more knowledgeable than I am. And I admit that this is why I'm a bit nervous to come on panels and talk and say
You're
stuff.
good.
I have a lot to say, believe me, but I just
You, young Christian.
Yeah.
Let me put it this: young Christian. Can Zara come up anytime she wants to? Come on.
Hey, whenever the link is open, it's anybody's able to join, unless you're a troll that I'm kicking you. But Zara is not a troll unless it's with
Yep.
Grafted. Those two troll each other. I see it in the live chat.
No, you see our brother, a young Christian. You see my and engrafted sibling love for each other.
Yeah.
We outdo.
I want to tell a quick story from one of Brother Maverick's live. I think Brother Maverick was grilling the Muslim apologetic, and the entire time, me and Grafted were just messing around in like the side chat. Because someone said something about my face or something, so we're just kind of laughing. Oh, hey, there he is. Speaking of Brother Maverick, we're just laughing in the side chat.
Oh no!
While Brother Maverick
no!
is grilling, Muslim apologetic. And then he's like, "Did you see what you guys were doing? What this guy was doing?" And we're like, "Oh yeah."
Wait, what did I miss?
You remember? It was one of the times a Muslim apologetic joined your channel, and that was when someone in the side chat was like, "I don't like looking at young Christian's face," and so the entire time, the entire time, Graft and I were just messing around in the side chat. Then you asked us, "You see what this guy's doing?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, it's horrible."
Yeah, I remember
We weren't paying attention at all. Yeah. How you doing, Brother Maverick?
I'm good, man. I'm just a little tired, that's all. This one dude wants to do a formal debate with me, and I was like, cool, man, I'll set it up, whatever. I think Omar the Muslim. And then, so I say, because you guys know how little I tolerate like the typical Dawa tropes and trading insults or whatever, and I'm not gonna bother to like make time for a formal debate with somebody who really just wants to try to be insulting. So I told old boy, I was like, look, man, I if I go out of my way to go to someone else's channel to do a formal with you, it needs to be about the academics. It needs to be about the theology or whatever. He DMs me back. He's like, no, I don't get involved in insults or whatever or drama. Bro, I just watched a whole debate where he was having with Q-Top on Duran Dorsey's channel, and all they were doing was insulting each other. I'm like, dude, that's what this guy wants me to do. He wants me to make time to go to Duran's channel so that it can devolve into chaos with like 6 Muslims in there, 6 Christians in there, and they're just sitting there accusing each other of doing nothing but not answering the question. I'm like,
come
dude,
on, bro. Hey, listen, I'm sure you saw that debate con versus Andrew Wilson.
No, that wasn't a debate con. That was a humiliation.
Oh my god, that was debate. Well, the debate con versus Andrew Wilson versus Daniel, whatever his name was.
Daniel Pikachu.
Oh my gosh, that was bad. And after 5 minutes, that guy, I'm sure he wanted to quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Andrew Wilson told him. He said Andrew Wilson told him that he was wearing a dress.
Dude, oh my God.
Hey, but see, it's like some Christians sit there like, oh, well, you can't tell them that. Oh my gosh, and it's like that's just funny. I'm sorry, you know what I mean? Like it's funny,
right?
Because we have. I think we're kind of at that point in a little bit in society. I mean, I only got 2 cheeks, man. They're on my, on my face. You ain't seen my other 2 cheeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well, I mean,
on.
to touch on that, right? When what's his name? Oh my goodness, Elijah is competing with the prophets of Baal. He's mocking them, saying, "Pray louder. Maybe your God is sleeping." Right, 1 Kings 18. So it's like there's a time for that. Not all the time, right? If like for example, if you're in a respectful conversation, you probably don't want to do that unless you guys have mutual respect and poke fun at each other. Then sure, but in that respectful context, you probably don't want to do that.
Right.
But if you're, if we're speaking with Daniel Hikikachu, who said that, more knowledgeable people are dangerous.
Can you believe? Can you believe?
He literally admitted that you have to be stupid to be a Muslim. That
Yeah,
he
he was
Yeah.
promoting cousin marriages, saying that cousin marriages are good in a way because it dulls people down. I was like, what the heck, bro? You're not selling Islam, are you really? Sorry, I'm going to cry. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit starstruck a little bit because Brother Mav's here and
Well,
everybody's here.
I was on another
Oh,
channel earlier. I was on another channel. It's like, okay, so
ah,
all right.
Mike's turned up. Mike Getner's turned up.
Yeah.
Mike.
Mike
So,
Gettner
Oh,
says
so
Brother Mavic looks cozy.
I am cozy dog. She, I'm
I
tucked away in the
was trying
corner.
to make
Listen. I
comparison,
put it in prayer that nobody's gonna bother me tonight. It's
but
probably not gonna happen, but
I was trying to make a comparison. Okay, so if you have the Muslim equals lower IQ, well, lower IQ is also associated with violence, right?
yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Sociopathic and psychopathic behavior.
You're gonna,
Yeah.
How are you going to be able to have a good society based on a lower IQ when lower IQ is directly correlated with violence?
You know, when I go,
Plus, you
but
know what I think? I think we need to just let them get on with inbreeding
yeah.
because
I was actually
inbreeding
about to
is
talk about
going to,
that. Yeah, I was about
yeah,
to talk about that.
inbreeding is going to be the end of Islam because they're so dull. Like, I'm going to admit this, and I've said this before, that both sets of my grandparents, Maverick, you know, I don't know how much he knows. I'm an ex-Muslim and a Christian, but both sets of my grandparents weren't related. My parents weren't related, so I think it gave me a brain where I'm able to think cognitively. And because of that, I left Islam. I think that's the only thing and the only connection I can have why I left Islam and why other people don't. And just let them carry on inbreeding because the inbreeding is just going to wipe themselves out.
So it sounds like
Really,
Zara. It sounds like you've
yeah.
been on the front
Doug, really
lines.
quick. I have to
Yeah.
end the stream. So if anyone wants to get just one last statement in before I end it, because I gotta go now. So
Oh
Oh,
well, I'll say that I'll hang on. Thought you wanted to get
yeah.
okay, but Zara, I'm interested in hearing who you've talked to about Islam or whatever in your life and why they stay there because it sounds like you've been enlightened and that'd be interesting.
yeah. Uh, who's his channel should I do it on? I could do it on my own channel. I could do it on Christian's channel, Young Christian's channel. I can do it on Mav's channel. Um, yeah, it, yeah. All you brothers can come on my channel, all of you, and support me. Young Christian, W, Mav, grafted well. He's
Hey,
changed. He's changed to me now. He's my submissive. Yeah, it depends how we do it, really, because
oh, there he is.
I
No, right
used
on.
to,
I'm
I
just
don't know what
interested
happened.
in
It
hearing.
dropped me.
yeah, I used
Oh,
to talk on someone else's channel, but I think the dude took advantage of me. Uh,
I'm
he
just
never
hearing
stopped me
in
when
terms
I
of
was meant to be stopped.
what your social circle has went from this to that and the other, and who you've been able to maybe tell the truth to and freely and not
Well,
be scared, things like that.
well,
right.
to cut a long story short, Jesus saved me at the age of 8. I was age of 8, and I used to go to church with my school, and I opened up the Bible, and I read. All kids, we all open a book and we read it from the start. And I read it. I opened it up and I read Genesis 1, chapter 1, to verse 22, 23. and I was like, whoa, that's God. And I saw Jesus in that. So when I read the Bible now as an adult, I try and continue reading it.
Are you from the UK? Are you from the UK?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dub, really quick. I really get to end the stream now, so I just
Okay.
Brother Matt, were you gonna say something, or are you?
No,
good?
I'm good, brother.
All right, yeah. So I think I'm gonna end now. We didn't get far into the study at all. We got like what?
I'll meet you in the back stream, young Christian. If you know, like
Yeah.
Just
Just
I hold on.
after
Yeah.
Well, young Christian, unless you want to meet me in the back stream, I'll end now.
We could.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
How does that work? I've never done. I've never done that before. How does that work?
I don't mind. Yeah,
it's not gonna be it.
It just stops. The live stops.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And we got like what 4 verses in before Dub came in and started cross-examining me.
Before Dub came in, and yeah.
He wrecked.
We'll continue. I was actually looking.
Check my avatar, Johnny. Johnny, check out my avatar.
Hold on.
Love it.
Oh, wrong one.
Love it. Feel free. Dub, feel free to come on my channel and talk to me anytime. I love it.
No, I subscribe to your channel, but then I notice you just don't come along that much as far as lives. So
yeah, because the brothers keep me busy with modding for them. I mod for
Zara, she's such a top mod, man. She is. I see her wrangling those kids in the comment section, so I leave her alone. I let her be.
I mod for 17 channels, so the Christian brothers keep me very busy. So I have to try and find time for myself at some point for my own channel.
I'm gonna come on your channel. I will join your channel, and I'm gonna subscribe and get the notifications. So I will be on your lives, just so people get a little bit more sense of who I am. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like for sure, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, do that. Yeah,
no problem.
I want people going to push my buttons because
I'd have to say, like, I'm not the nicest guy, whatever, but. Neither are these other 2 guys, but they're doing it and they get it across, And sometimes I swear and whatever, but
brother Matt,
we're not all the same. The ear is not the eye, and the eye is not the toe. So kind of leave me alone. I mean, I've had my own share of life's troublesome times, and I do my own thing. I try my best.
I have to say, brother Mav, I hope you're going to share that avatar or your profile picture, and it's cool. We'll talk again soon, brother Mav, and everybody. Unless the young Christian wants me to hang around, I'll sign off. Thank you, and God bless you, brothers. And brother Mav, thank you for serving everybody and doing for your service, and I appreciate it. God bless you. Love you.
Thank you so much. God bless. Thank you.
Love you all. Bye.
God bless you.
Bye.
Bye. I'm gonna end the stream here, guys. So thank you all for tuning in. Are you 2 staying?
I'm gonna hang around. Yeah, I'm gonna hang around.
Yeah. Young Christian, unless you, I'll hang around.
Just stay on for like 5 minutes or so.
I'm definitely hanging around. I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
We
I'm
did.
Stream now. We figured it out. OBS. I don't think I'm gonna use it. It's just, it's like I can't. Like it's obnoxious.
Oh, can I just sign off as a mod, as I normally do? Young Christian. Goodbye, everybody. Love you. Thank you. All the mods, everybody. Young Christian, thank you. And Dubs, goodbye. at chat.
God bless.
Goodbye.
God bless.
Love you all.
God
Bye.
Bye.
I'm hanging around though.
Oh, okay. So I'm ending the stream. Just goodbye, everyone. God bless you all. Goodbye. Oh my goodness.